In April 2026, Iranian gray speedboats closed in on two massive cargo ships, the Epaminondas and the MSC Francesca. Masked commandos from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps pulled alongside the hulls, tossed up rope ladders, and breached the ship's side doors rifle first. We know exactly how this operation unfolded because Iran broadcast the footage directly on state television, complete with a dramatic action movie soundtrack, to show off their control of the water. A handful of men operating cheap speedboats effortlessly paralyzed multi-million-dollar maritime vessels. It exposed an extreme vulnerability in the physical supply chain of global shipping. These seizures took place in the Strait of Hormuz, a severe geographic bottleneck, leaving a gap of just 21 miles between Iran and Oman. Through this narrow corridor pushes immense global energy. 20 million barrels of oil transit daily, 20% of the world's seaborne supply. This line chart tracks the immediate macroeconomic fallout of closing that choke point. You can see Brent crude oil prices reacting to the disruption, spiking to over $126 per barrel by March of 2026. The blockade forced over 150 ships to drop anchor and wait, stranding 20,000 mariners at sea. Tanker traffic through the region effectively dropped to zero. Whoever controls this specific stretch of water controls a geopolitical toll booth. A regional naval blockade instantly functions as a hostage situation for the global economy. Iran does not rely on massive, expensive warships to project this power. The IRGC uses swarm tactics, deploying dozens of highly maneuverable fast attack boats to surround and overwhelm isolated targets. They launch these swarms from a permanent, militarized infrastructure of sea caves and island bases hidden throughout the Persian Gulf. They have spent years refining this method. Back in 2019, they swarmed and captured the massive British-flagged Stana Impero, and in 2024, they boarded the MSC Ares using identical airborne drops and fast boat maneuvers. Relying on cheap, asymmetric warfare is a calculated military doctrine. It allows a regional power to neutralize the massive financial and technological advantages of traditional superpowers. The 2026 blockade began in February, immediately following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes that targeted Iranian nuclear sites and assassinated Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Knowing they could not win a conventional war, Iranian forces retaliated by weaponizing their geography. They closed the strait to U.S. and Israeli allies and began extorting vessels for millions of dollars in illegal tolls. The April raids caught neutral countries in the crossfire. The hijacked Epaminondas was bound for Mundra port, carrying Indian seafarers. India refused to pay the tolls and immediately summoned the Iranian envoy in protest. They followed up by launching Operation Urja Suraksha, deploying their own frontline naval destroyers to escort commercial cargo. A closed choke point forces neutral nations to make a difficult choice: submit to extortion or spend millions deploying their own military forces to secure their supply chains. With peace talks in Islamabad completely collapsed, the strait remains firmly under Iranian control. The United States has threatened overwhelming conventional force. President Donald Trump ordered the U.S. Navy to impose a counter-blockade, instructing them to shoot and kill any Iranian boats laying sea mines. But deploying a billion-dollar aircraft carrier strike group into a 21-mile-wide, mine-filled corridor is a massive risk. The sheer size of these conventional ships makes them vulnerable in tight, contested waters. As a result, Iran maintains the blockade from a distance. Massive oil tankers are left dead in the water or forced into long, expensive detours to avoid the Gulf entirely. The 2026 crisis demonstrates a difficult reality of modern naval warfare. In a geographic choke point, traditional naval supremacy loses its edge. By mastering asymmetric warfare, a nation only needs a few fast boats and masked commandos to hold the entire global economy hostage.